informan a mi abogado lo de cuando ya tengo una orden?
This is all a big shock, not anything that anyone expected.
How does a boxer go from Mexico's pride to top Sinaloa Cartel torture boy? Julio César Chávez Jr. was the son of a boxing legend, a millionaire athlete, and a celebrity with everything. But now, he's the center of one of the most twisted cartel torture scandals we've ever covered. Top Sinaloa assassin El Nini used Chavez as his personal torturer in cartel safehouses. Yeah, the same Chavez Jr. who just fought Jake Paul in the US was allegedly beating kidnapped men like human punching bags. Keep watching, because we're about to break down how this famous boxer got reported missing by Mexico, arrested by ICE in California, and charged with a dozen heinous crimes, all in just 1 month. Trust me, it's gonna get wild. Julio César Chávez Jr. was born into boxing royalty. His father, Julio César Chávez Sr., is still worshipped in Mexico as the greatest fighter to ever enter the ring. For years, fans hoped Chavez Jr. would carry on the legacy. After all, he picked the same career for himself. But behind the championship belts and designer sunglasses was a man with a very dark life. Between 2021 and 2022, Mexican federal prosecutors were tapping the phones of suspected Sinaloa Cartel members. They weren't looking for a boxer, but what they found was a nightmare.
De acuerdo con intervenciones telefónicas incluidas en esta investigación, narcotraficantes relataron cómo el boxeador fue contratado presuntamente, para torturar a golpes a otros integrantes de la organización que incumplían con algunas normas.
In one call, a cartel member described how El Nini, the notorious head of security for Los Chapitos, ordered punishment for a subordinate. The man's crime? He brought his girlfriend to a safe house where cartel hostages were being kept. That was seen as a reckless mistake that could have exposed the entire operation. But instead of ordering a quick execution, El Nini wanted humiliation. He ordered his men to hang the subordinate upside down, like a human heavy bag, and that's when he called in Chavez Jr. Part of the call transcript said, he says that's why he calls Julio, to beat him up, to hang them, and this one grabs them like a punching bag. Another part, when Chavez fought Canelo, he lasted all 12 rounds. That guy is stupid strong. Canelo hit him, but he endured it, so imagine the beating he gives them. Nini tells them, if you endure Julio's blows, you live. If not, you die. Think about that for a second. Imagine being strung up like meat in a cartel basement, knowing Mexico's strongest boxer is about to break your ribs for El Nini's amusement. The same hands that sold out stadiums. His own friend would react on live TV like, probably the rest of us.
Unbelievable, unreal.
And Chavez Jr. took pleasure in it, reportedly. The traffickers laughed about how he'd treat them like actual punching bags, hitting them until they couldn't scream anymore. For the Sinaloa Cartel, he wasn't just a celebrity. He was a weapon and a symbol of fear. Owning Chavez was like owning a sports car. But this was only the beginning, because while Chavez was carrying out torture beatings in Sinaloa, he was building a public image as a redeemed champion, fighting celebrity matches in California, giving interviews about his kids, and pretending to be clean and reformed.
La gente te conoce, la gente sabe el espectáculo que el mexicano brinda.
But while those wiretaps revealed his secret life as El Nini's what happened next shocked everyone even more, because just days after these revelations exploded in Mexico, Julio César Chávez Jr. completely disappeared. No one knew where he was, not his fans, not his lawyers, not even the Mexican authorities hunting him down. And when they finally found him, it wasn't in a cartel safe house. It was somewhere that turned this scandal into an international nightmare. Julio César Chávez Jr.'s scandal didn't start with the torture allegations. It started with his vanishing. After losing to Jake Paul in a humiliating fight at the Honda Center, Chavez Jr. seemed to disappear off the face of the earth. Fans, reporters, even his lawyers had no clue where he was. Mexican media erupted with speculation. Was he kidnapped by rival cartels? Had he run away to avoid prosecution?
We're going to get into this. Julio seemed to have altered many other lives, and not for good reasons.
For days, social media trended with hashtags like Giway donde está Chavez and Giway Chavez desaparecido. He used to be so public, flaunting Lamborghinis and designer suits. Now he was off the map. Then came the leak. On July 2nd, ICE released body camera footage showing Chavez Jr. being arrested in Studio City, Los Angeles. He was riding a scooter down the street when agents surrounded him. He did not fight back.
Fox 11 News has exclusively obtained federal body camera footage showing Chavez Jr.'s arrest Wednesday morning.
Homeland Security said he had overstayed his visa, which made him an illegal immigrant. That's when Mexican authorities immediately revealed there was far more at stake. In Mexico, Chavez Jr. wasn't just an overstayer. He was a wanted man with an active warrant since January 2023. The charges, arms trafficking, explosives trafficking, and organized crime participation, all directly linked to the Sinaloa Cartel. And yet, despite that warrant, Chavez Jr. had been living freely in the U.S., fighting in celebrity matches and giving flashy interviews. Mexican officials were furious.
The U.S. kind of dropped the ball with this. This is a criminal in his home country, according to legal filings.
One Mexican reporter stated,
Y su primera audiencia está programada para el próximo mes de agosto. No se sorprenda si nos encontramos con un nuevo testigo protegido.
They feared he might cut a deal with U.S. authorities to avoid deportation, revealing cartel secrets in exchange for safety, just like what Chapo's sons are doing now. But ICE remained silent on his fate. After the arrest, Chavez Jr.'s name disappeared from detainee locators.
His attorney was even publicly saying that he wasn't sure if Julio was still in the United States or not.
Some sources believed he was already on a plane to Mexico. Others said he was in a high-security ICE facility, awaiting expedited removal under Trump's border crackdown. Meanwhile, Mexico's Attorney General's office made it clear they were ready to prosecute. They emphasized that Mexico had been looking for him for 2 years.
La presidenta Claudia Sheinbaum dijo esta mañana que ella desconocía la orden de aprehensión que pesaba sobre Chávez Jr. desde 2023.
And yet, ICE only arrested him after his fight with Jake Paul. Borderland dispatches questioned the timing.
Now, the timing of his arrest is quite interesting because obviously it happened right after a high-profile fight.
Some Mexican officials saw this as proof the U.S. had been protecting him. Why arrest him only after his public exposure peaked? Why allow him to fight in front of millions if he was a wanted organized crime figure? The disappearance and sudden ICE arrest escalated tensions between the two governments. Mexico accused the U.S. of ignoring their alerts for years, while using Chavez's case as political theater under Trump's border crime crackdown.
Mexican authorities have publicly criticized what they call the U.S.'s inaction, and they are saying that they're prepared to prosecute upon return.
Meanwhile, those who knew Chavez Jr. painted a different image. One of his friends said,
He's the type of person that if I do a video about a coach that his kid has cancer, he will call me 6 a.m. Hey, my lawyer is going to send you money for the kid. We're going to take care of the expense.
They described him as generous, soft-hearted, incapable of violence. Everyone seemed shocked at the news, but Mexico's wiretaps don't lie. They tell the awful story of a fallen champion who found new glory torturing defenseless men in cartel basements, and his arrest only deepened the outrage. At the time of recording, it remained unclear whether ICE would deport him as an illegal immigrant, extradite him as a criminal, or keep him detained for federal cooperation. His father, Chavez Sr., publicly defended him, claiming the charges were sensationalized to intimidate Julio. His next court hearing was set for August. Mexican prosecutors vowed he would not walk free, and as Mexico's civil war between Los Chapitos and Mayo Zambada rages on, Chavez Jr.'s fate has become a symbol. The boxer who once made Mexico proud was now accused of torturing its sons for the cartel. Now, let's break down Trump's cartel crackdown and why Chavez Jr.'s arrest signals a new U.S. strategy to deport cartel-linked celebrities faster than ever before. Julio César Chávez Jr.'s arrest wasn't necessarily immigration paperwork as much as politics. Under Trump's administration, DHS has ramped up efforts to deport anyone linked to Mexico's brutal cartels, and targeting a famous name like Chavez Jr. was the perfect way to send a message.
The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has emphasized renewed enforcement against cartel associates.
For years, Mexico had been demanding Chavez's extradition. Their Attorney General's office confirmed he was wanted for trafficking firearms, ammunition, and explosives for the Sinaloa Cartel. But the U.S. didn't act until now. It's all a message, people are saying. A game of scoring political points.
Let's be for real. I mean, we've seen this uptick in ICE crackdown.
And it worked. Within hours of Chavez Jr. being taken into ICE custody, Mexican officials praised the move, saying it showed the U.S. was finally taking cartel infiltration seriously, but some saw this as pure political theater. And what's worse, it never seems 50-50 with the U.S. Mexico does a lot, then the U.S. does a little, with a lot of social media fluff to make it sound serious.
Mexico has been cooperating with the U.S. in terms of the southern border crackdown. You know, they have been putting their resources to work. And so the optics in terms of Julio's case don't look great for the U.S.
After years of ignoring his warrant, his arrest now lets Trump's team claim they were cleaning up cartel-linked celebrities, scoring points with voters demanding a tougher border and cartel policy.
The all coming through Canada is massive. The all coming through Mexico is massive, and people are getting killed and families are being destroyed.
But this isn't just about Trump scoring political points. Real people died unspeakable deaths at the hands of this man. And what investigators found on Chavez Jr.'s social media revealed the full extent of his horrifying secret life, including a Lamborghini video that will make your skin crawl. While Julio César Chávez Jr. was secretly beating cartel rivals to death, he was also living like a king, and the world saw that side through his flashy social media posts. Here's him bragging that he owns his Lamborghinis, not like Conor McGregor, who rents them.
This is nicer. Yes. And you own it. His was rented.
In another, now infamous but deleted video, Chavez Jr. is seen hanging out with Mexican influencer Marquitos Toys. They're standing in front of a Lamborghini, laughing, posing, showing off the kind of luxury most people only dream of. Marquitos can be heard telling Chavez Jr. that he's hesitant to upload the video because, since it features a Lamborghini, people are starting to wonder where the money is coming from.
Van a decir luego, ya sabes. Ya te la sabes tú qué me decir la gente. Aquí yo tengo un Lamborghini.
Chavez Jr. didn't even flinch. He just smirked and replied. But that Lamborghini wasn't even his own sports car. Mexican authorities later discovered it belonged to El Nini's personal collection. Yeah, the same El Nini who ordered Chavez Jr. to beat cartel subordinates like human punching bags. The same Nini who commanded one of the bloodiest armies in Mexican cartel history. The car was parked on property linked directly to the Sinaloa Cartel. For investigators, this video was damning. It wasn't just Chavez Jr. flaunting wealth without an ounce of guilt. It was proof he was embedded in Los Chapitos' inner circle. He enjoyed his blood money and even wanted the world to know. Here are the implications.
Now, there is a pretty lengthy legal process that's ahead of this. This arrest shows how cartel influence extends into entertainment and sports.
Chavez Jr. wasn't hiding his connections. He was proudly displaying them, knowing fans would drool over the lifestyle without questioning the source. But Mexican authorities did question it. They tied that Lamborghini directly back to El Nini's fleet, a fleet purchased with ransom cash, drug profits, and weapons trafficking money. The video also raised red flags about Marquitos Toys, the influencer often seen hanging out with cartel-linked figures. In the same conversation, Marquitos reportedly said, when they've called him at night, he's there. Meaning Chavez Jr. was often spotted late at night in cartel safehouses, alongside influencers, artists, and traffickers, partying with the very men orchestrating mass murders and fentanyl shipments. For the Mexican public, it was another slap in the face. Their influencers and sports heroes weren't just accepting shady sponsorships. They were directly complicit in violence that left families broken and entire communities living in terror. And this Lamborghini video was the clearest proof yet. Proof and the start to a long overdue conversation in the US. Julio César Chávez Jr.'s arrest didn't just expose one boxer's criminal ties, it revealed how deeply the Sinaloa Cartel's power runs through Mexico's entertainment world. For years, Los Chapitos have flaunted alliances with musicians, influencers, and athletes. It's part of their strategy, using fame to mask violence. Because when a beloved boxer drives cartel Lamborghinis, people don't see blood money. They see success. And it's not just Julio César Chávez Jr. Narco culture runs deep in Mexico's music industry. Entire narco corrido bands like Los Alegres del Barranco and Los Tucanes de Tijuana have performed private concerts for cartel bosses. Their songs glorify Sinaloa's power, praising El Chapo, El Mayo, and now Los Chapitos as heroes. And here's the infuriating part. This isn't entertainment. Not really. It's recruitment propaganda. When teens hear catchy lyrics about luxury cars, designer clothes, and easy money, they want in. They want that life. They see corrido singers getting rich by praising the cartels and think it's legitimate fame. But behind every flashy music video is a silent threat. Sing for us, or you're done. Perform at our party, or your career ends here. And as Los Chapitos pump millions into sponsoring influencers, boxers, and musicians, the cycle keeps spinning. A fake, dangerous fantasy sold to vulnerable kids, hiding the reality of torture rooms, forced disappearances, and shattered families. The good news is, the more people learn, the more they're calling these cartel-connected celebs out. So, Marquitos also has connections? When will they arrest him approximately? Bad company does a lot of harm to a man, because as the old proverb goes, if you sleep with dogs, you'll wake up with fleas. And if he defends drug traffickers, specifically those of the Sinaloa Cartel, it's because he agrees with the harm they cause, or he's an accomplice in one way or another. Because people are realizing, behind the glamorous Instagram posts, Mexico is on fire. After El Mayo Zambada's rumored arrest last year, the cartel landscape fractured. Los Chapitos launched a civil war against Mayo's loyalists, turning cities to ashes and leaving thousands of people in fear for their lives. At least 1,700 people were killed in Sinaloa alone within 10 months. Hundreds more disappeared without a trace. And it's happening so fast, news outlets can't give exact numbers anymore.
Más de 1,700 personas fueron asesinadas, aunque las cifras varían.
And Trump's crackdown is only fueling the chaos. As DHS targets high-profile deportations to appear tough on cartels, they leave power vacuums behind. Each extradited capo, each deported enforcer, sparks more violence as rivals rush to seize abandoned territory.
A lot of people that don't know what's going on think that we're just going to go in and just bang hammers and then the cartel will disappear. But having done this job for 20 plus years, I know that's not the case at all. It's never that easy. If it was, then we wouldn't be in this place to begin with.
Meanwhile, ordinary people scroll Instagram, watching cartel-linked celebrities show off designer clothes and bulletproof SUVs. We want to believe they're just rich, or lucky, or incredibly talented, because it's comforting to think our idols are clean. But the truth is darker. Chavez Jr. wasn't a confused kid who fell in with the wrong crowd. He became a willing weapon for one of the deadliest cartels on earth, and he seemed to take pleasure in inflicting pain, just like any top cartel assassin. Now, as he sits in ICE custody awaiting deportation, his future looks bleak. Mexico's prosecutors want him for organized crime and trafficking.
Julio faces imminent deportation and prosecution in Mexico on serious cartel-related charges. These claims are not for the faint of heart.
We may never know how many men Chavez Jr. beat within an inch of death, or worse. But what we do know is this: when sports stars turn into torturers for narco assassins, Mexico's bloody future becomes even harder to stop. And if you think Julio César Chávez Jr. will be the last celebrity caught doing the cartel's dirty work, think again.